Chanel, and I'm Black. Welcome back to Nelly with the Podcast. I'm your host, Chanel number 5. You guys, this is the last episode of season 4, but don't be sad. I will be back again next year with a brand new season of tea and advice and opinions that probably get me in trouble somewhere down the line. Hello, TikTok fam. Thank you so much for joining me for this finale episode of the podcast. Go ahead and tap the screen and follow the host. If you follow me, I will be sure to follow you back. Listeners, if this is your first time of knowing of my existence, you have missed a great season of TikTok Fam live podcast. But you can listen to all of my podcasts going all the way back to season 1, episode 1. Feel free to catch up. And then that way, when I come back in January, you will be all ready for it. So one of my fam and friends here says, I hope you have a great day. Don't let people be mean to you for being trans. Well, I'm not trans, but I am a trans ally. So we stand by our trans brothers and sisters. So, yeah, let's all be nice and kind to one another. And thank you for joining in. So with all of that being said, let's get right into the tea. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is Christmas gifts and Christmas gifts being stolen. So I recently just seen where this YouTuber bought a bunch of gifts and they were all stolen. And it seemed like, to me, I hate to say it, but it seems like someone on her team, someone close to her has stolen all of these gifts. And it's very, very sad. When you have money, or even if you don't have money, you really have to be careful about who's around you, who's watching your moves, who you think's really on your side. They might be setting you up for failure. And what makes me think it's actually an inside job is because this is not the first time that something like this has happened to this YouTuber. So who I'm talking about is Tana Mongeau. Hello, Tom. Welcome in. I'm so pretty. Thank you so much. You look great. You look great. Would you rather... Okay, so I'm talking about Christmas gifts, but I want to jump to the comments for just a second, you guys. So it says, you're so pretty. Would you rather date a father or a brother? You know, I don't even know how to answer that question. But Tom, thank you so much for being here. This is the last episode for season 4, and I'm talking about buying Christmas gifts and them being stolen. Look, people work very hard. Whether you have a lot of money or a little money, people work very hard to make Christmas happen for their friends and family. And while Christmas is not just about gifts, it's not about the material things, we can all humbly admit that we like to receive gifts. And we like to give gifts on Christmas. It's just become one of those things that is just a part of Christmas. And, you know, some people feel like just because someone has a lot of money or because they're buying a lot of designer things that it's not, oh, well, I can steal from the rich. Because the rich, they have money to go out and buy more. It doesn't matter how much money someone has or doesn't have. And I'm talking about Tana Mongeau, who for like the second or third year in a row, just mysteriously has had all of her Christmas gifts stolen. She's a YouTuber. And I'm just using her as an example because, you know, unfortunately, more money, more problems. And when you get this money, the more money you have, it seems like people forget to watch their surroundings and watch the people that they're around. And I feel like someone close to her is stealing her stuff. And it's very sad because I'm sure it's somebody that she's helping, you know, supporting their lifestyle. It's probably someone that she's either on the payroll or someone she's calling a best friend. And that's really, really jacked up because you don't want to look at the people that are closest to you first. And it's just, you know, it's just really heartbreaking to be stealing around Christmas. It's heartbreaking to steal any time of the year. But if you are that desperate to have something, or you feel like, well, I can't get Christmas gifts for my kids or my family, let me just rob somebody. Why would you want to give somebody something stolen? Because see, now that bad juju is going to be attached to that gift, to that material thing. But I just wanted to use that as a reminder to just really pay attention to your surroundings. It's not always a stranger. It's not always someone that you don't know. It's not always the obvious person that is going to steal from you or do you wrong. It's just, you know, Tom, it's not the gifts that matter. It's a gift from the heart that matters. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and people lose focus, and hopefully Tana and anybody else, hopefully they can use this as a learning experience, that it's not about the money and who has the, the most high end designer things or materialistic things. It's not about breaking the bank to give kids top dollar gifts. It truly is about just giving something meaningful, and usually the most meaningful things are not materialistic. And at the end of the day, the most meaningful things are not materialistic. It's how Mr. Tom here says, it's from the heart to someone else's heart. So Tana, I'm so sorry that happened to you again, and anyone else who has ever had their Christmas gifts stolen, or who has ever had anything stolen. I wish you well. I wish you healing, and I don't wish that that break of security. I don't wish that on anyone. Can you hear me? My mic isn't on. It's on my computer. Press the number 5 if you can hear me. Because, well, my mic's not connected to my phone. No. Yes, okay, so let me explain what I'm doing. I'm recording my podcast into Logic Pro. Listeners, bear with me. I'm explaining something to my TikTok fam. So what it is, no, you're not hearing the audio from my from my microphone. Yes, you would be very, very correct. I'm just recording this live so that I can interact with my TikTok family. But if I could move my camera without knocking everything over, I would show you. But yeah, in studio, yeah, everything's hooked up. I am rolling. I have sound waves, but thank you so much for no, do not apologize, because that's great. Because if it was something where it wasn't and I thought that it was, you would have been a lifesaver. So thank you so much. That is the greatest gift of all. Someone got me my back seat, and this is why I record these lives, because y'all got my back. Y'all gonna keep me on my toes. You know what I'm saying? It takes an army. I'm getting a lot of live invites. You guys, not right now. So let's wrap up on that. The next thing that I want to talk about, unfortunately, is more scamming. Okay. So, and also another YouTuber. So there is another YouTuber that I watch, Morgan Adams, and I'm using her as an example because, hey, YouTubers, right? I love them. So Morgan, to make a long story short, Morgan purchased this home a year ago and was going through a lot of renovations, okay? And that's nothing new. A lot of people buy houses and they want to create them to make them into a dream home. They want to, sometimes it's minor renovations. Sometimes they're basically demolishing the whole house and building it up all over again. Unfortunately, this young woman bought this house, hired a contractor, and it turned out the contractor was not a contractor at all and completely scammed her out of thousands and thousands of dollars. And here she is a year later. She lived with her parents for a year, which was supposed to only be for 6 months. She sold her house in LA. She moved to Colorado, was only going to live with her parents for 6 months while the house was being remodeled. She ended up being with her parents for a year, and only for that house to basically still be in the same condition that it was in when she purchased it a year ago. And so anyone who's ever done renovations or anything, any kind of remodeling or anything on a home, anyone who's ever purchased a home, it's a lot of money that goes into it. And so for you to basically have lost a year, and now she's living in an apartment while also still trying to get this house together, having to rehire contractors and stuff and start from square one, my heart just breaks for this young woman. And, it's really sad to say that, her being a young woman, at the time she was 23, I believe she's 24 now, and her just being a woman, let's just be honest, she was already a target. She was already set up to be taken advantage of. Unfortunately, when it comes to matters of home construction or matter with vehicle maintenance and just certain things, we are still in a society where a man has to be present. And even then, you still have con artists who, if they see someone vulnerable, they're going to take advantage of them. And it's, you hate that. Here's this young, successful woman. She's doing, she's dipping and doing it on her own. trying to be responsible, but she can't even, you know, enjoy the fruits of her labor because some awful person scammed her. And that's I just can't imagine the stress and the heartbreak of that. And like I said, her parents are involved in a way as far as support, but also Morgan strikes me as the type of person that she's going to do things the way that she wants. I can't imagine a world where people in her life, her elders, did not advise her that she needs to double check on these things. She needs to look into this. She needs to look into that. I can't imagine that no one on her team said, this seems kind of shady. You might want to pump your brakes. I'm thinking somebody did try to warn her and she just didn't listen and she ended up having to learn the hard way. And I guess my question to you guys is, what do you do as how do you take precautions to not get scammed, especially as a young woman? I don't know if we have any young women here, if anyone has daughters or sisters and stuff. What kind of advice would you pass along to make sure? Because let's be honest, you don't always have a man in your life to, and it's sad that you have to have that, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But not everyone has a father, a brother, a husband, a fiance, a boyfriend, a cousin or something that they can take to these meetings, and these men or these just some women even, these companies won't look at you and feel like, oh, this is a young woman, she doesn't know. We can tell her anything and run her around town. What do we do? How do we break that cycle? And I mean, it's just really jacked up. And also, what advice would you give to Morgan? Do you think that she should just kind of chop this up as a loss, sell the house as it is, and move on? Or do you think that she should start over? She's found a new contractor since. Do you think that she should move on and continue on with the renovations, starting from square one and getting the house that she wants? Or, remodeling it in a way that she can make more money off of it by selling it? Because if she sells it as is, which is basically a shell of a house, she's going to lose a lot of money. She's not even going to get for it what she paid for it, because it's literally just a skeleton of a home. I don't know. I want for her to have her dream house, but it's like, is it worth going through months and months of, being just given the runaround again? And then you got to go and check on these people every day. You got to watch down their back to make sure that they're doing things the right way. But I don't know, if I was her, just because of the experience that I already had with the home, like, I would kind of be over it. I think that I would do very basic remodeling to get the house move-in ready for whoever wanted to buy it. And I would just kind of cut my losses. I don't think I would try to remodel it in a way that was my dream home. I would think I would have to start over somewhere else, because at least for me, I don't know if I could let go of those bad memories of like dag. Like, my first memories of this house was somebody just really robbed me out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the property is very pretty. She has a whole lot of land, and I don't know, it's just really unfortunate. Like, people just stop being skeezy, you know what I mean? Like, just do right by people and look out for one another. If you have family who's taking on new adventures, family or friends who's, diving into something for the first time, obviously grown people are going to do what they want to do. But be there for them. Just make sure, because when we are very excited about something, like getting a new home, getting into a relationship, going to school, starting a new career, moving to a new city, when we are starting something new, sometimes, we put on these rose-colored sunglasses and we're just blinded by, oh, this is going to be great. And I'm guilty of that too. I romanticize everything. But I know that. I know that I'm a dreamer. I know that I daydream. I know that I see things. I'm like, wow, pretty, sparkly. Oh, look at this. Like, I know that I have that mindset. So particularly if you know you have friends and family, what's up, DJ Twice? We up here recording the podcast, you know what I'm saying? So glad you could join. You know, pull yourself down to reality, but also be there for your friends and family, and just be that voice of reason. You know, don't step on anyone's toes, but try to be that person for someone who's like, look, I know you don't want to hear it, but there's something shady about this. And all you can do is kind of put a seed in their mind. All you can kind of do is just kind of share what you observe, and then what they choose to do with it is up to them. Now, if you're giving someone sound advice, what you perceive to be sound advice, and they don't want to take it, you can't be offended by that either. That's something that I'm still learning, because it's very hard for me to watch, because just like I see the world through like, you know, oh, everything's cotton candy and rainbows. I have a hard time watching people just ruin their lives and make mistakes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you being stupid? Like, I'm learning how to let people make their own mistakes. I'm learning how to not project so much. And I tell myself, well, I'm coming from a place of caring. I love them. I can't let someone I love or that I care about, drive off a cliff. What kind of friend or family member would I be if I just let this person drive off the cliff and I see the warning signs? You know, it's a balancing act. So I'm saying something and then I'm letting it go. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, you have it, but it's worth learning, because, you know, when you project too much, and also a lot of times people know when they're messing up. People are smart, but people choose to ignore red flags. They choose to ignore what they know to be true. They ignore that voice inside of them that's saying this is wrong. So you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. Some people just want to ignore it, and you have to allow people to ignore it, and all you can do is be there for them when it comes crumbling down. Because also, you might be wrong. The only person who really knows is God, what's going to come of a situation. So if you project too hard and you're wrong, and somebody does listen to you, you force them to take your advice and you end up being wrong, yikes, because that's an even worse situation. So all you can do is, you know, ask someone if they want your opinion. If someone's venting to you, ask, do you want to vent because you just want to get something off your chest, or would you like for me to weigh in? Because most people already know what they're going to do. You know, they just want to say it out loud. And sometimes you just have to nod and smile. And, you know, if and when things come crumbling down, you're just there for them, and you love on them, and you help them. If they want the help, you help them figure out, okay, well, what now? What do we do next? And it's hard. You know, I'm very opinionated. Oh, this is why I have a podcast. I like to talk. At least I know these things. And look, all I can do is be better than I was the day before. And it is out of love. I just want to see everyone win. Also, I'm very naturally a mother. I'm not a mother in real life. I don't have kids, but I've worked with kids for a very long time. So that's another one of my issues. I have a hard time switching out of teacher mode, nanny mode, mommy mode. Like, I don't have kids, and I imagine if I had kids, it would probably be so much worse. But I'm just want to just mother everybody. I'm like, oh, are you okay? Well, let's do this now. Okay, we'll do. Not everybody wants a mother. Some people just want a friend, Chanel. And I'm like, okay, I have to relax. But these are things that I will be working on for 2023 and for the rest of my life. I mean, look, it's not the worst trait to have, to be overly caring. You know what I'm saying? But I do recognize where it is a problem. So that's half the battle, is admitting that Houston, we have a problem. So speaking of reflecting of issues and how we will work on them, let's reflect for a moment on 2022. First thing I want to say, that was a great segue. I'm sorry, I was going to keep going, but it's great that this is my final episode for season 4. And all season, I have sucked with doing segues from going from one topic to the next. It's just been a train wreck. And I finally got it right in my final episode. This is probably like episode 41 of all the episodes that I've done for this podcast. And I finally landed a segue. And I just ruined it by pointing it out. See, that's another one of my character flaws. I'm hung up on myself. But I think y'all have picked this up already. I don't know why y'all listen to me. I don't know, but I greatly appreciate it. Hello, friend. How are you? Welcome in. We're in the middle of recording the podcast. We're almost going to wrap it up, but we're going to talk about reflect on 2022 and what we want to do for 2023. Look, I'm not one of those people that come up with those resolutions and be like, oh, starting January, I'm going to do this. I gave up on coming up with resolutions years ago. I did it in high school, middle school, when it was an assignment and everything. But, I think setting resolutions, honestly, I think it's setting yourself up for failure. I think that it's great to have goals, long-term, short-term. You definitely want to have something that you're working towards. But I think when you set these grand, fantastic resolutions, I think that it can be more damaging than it is good. Now, while I see why it could be a good thing to have New Year's resolutions and things, I think that where you go wrong is, let's be honest, most of us aren't going to do it, at least not in the beginning of the year. And I think that if you say, you know what, starting January, I'm going to start doing this, if you don't do it, all that does is make you feel really, really bad about yourself. And then you're going to spend the whole rest of January and February just feeling down about yourself. And it's really not until March that you're going to try to do something. And then March rolls around and you're like, college basketball. Who has time for that? And then before you know it, it's football season and Christmas again. But, I think that going into it, being excited about, it's a fresh start, and just leave it at that, I think that will do more for you as far as being productive in the new year. Just say, you know what? This year, I got this, and this right. If you can think of 3 things that, these were happy, that was a happy moment. That was a thing that I got right. And you know what? This is a new start. Let's see what the new year will bring, So, you want to change, you will never. Yeah. Look. Yeah, see, Tom, DJ Twice, see, y'all, we here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, start doing your goals now. Why put it off? Why put off to tomorrow what can be done today? Yeah, be like Nike and just do it. Yes, exactly. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Most things take time. If you could just lay 1 brick a day for whatever you're working towards, like, come with me, guys, on this analogy. Let's use this metaphor. If you just lay 1 brick a day towards whatever it is that you want, you've done enough. You don't have to just wear yourself so thin to get to where you want to be. As long as you're doing something every day to get towards whatever goal you have, and set tiny goals, because the more often you hit a milestone, the more motivated you're going to be. If you just only have this 1 or 2, these 2 or 3 really huge 10-year goals, you're just never going to get there. Because who has 10 years to wait to get to a milestone? No. Have those big dreams and those big goals. Always shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars, whatever the saying is, right? But when you have the little ones, that's why when you play video games, there's a milestone, there's a lot. Like, you have the really big milestones, but in a video game, there's always the little checkpoints. There's always the little stars. There's always you see the numbers going up. You see the percentage going up and down constantly. Because if you only get, why play the game if you gotta play the game for 2 days? Some people can get through a game in 2 days. Let's be honest. We've all done it. I've done it. I don't know if it's something I'm proud of, but we've all played a video game that really should have took about 6 weeks. We've all stayed up all night playing the game. That's beside the point. The point is, It is a reason why video games are set up the way that they are with the milestones, because it's something that triggers in your brain. Your life is no different. Games keep you playing because of the increment of milestones that you have, and they reward you. That's what you need to do for yourself. Have tiny milestones that lead up to a bigger one, and then treat yourself. Be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Because, baby, let me tell you something. You got motivation to sit there and watch your team lose every week, or if you have motivation to play the same game every week, and some of y'all, I don't know who plays Madden or 2K or whatever in here. I know some of y'all trash, but you keep playing. And if you're trash, it's okay. But you keep playing, because when you finally hit that milestone, boy, does it feel good. So give yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself. And if you did one thing, it could be very small. It could be watching a TikTok on how to do something. It could be watching a YouTube video. It could be going to the library, picking up a book. It could be reaching out to someone who's in the field that you want to be in. You know, it doesn't have to be these grand gestures. The small gestures matter too. And so just cut yourself some slack. And if some days, if all you do is get up and wash your face and brush your teeth and put your clothes on, hey, it's better than laying in the bed all day. If all you did was go from the bed to the couch, it sounds like a win to me. You know, who says that you have to go out and conquer the world every day? I mean, if you're not at sound mind up here, if you're not at peace, if you're not relaxed, if you're not enjoying the little moments, then why do anything at all? Just enjoy it. I say this year, you know, we're going to start fresh, and we're just going to do whatever feels good. Let's just do whatever makes us happy. Who's with me? I'm saying, you know, my life has really took a turn this year. I will say that. I won't get too much into it, but it's taken some turns. And I kind of, it was a humbling year. And, you know, I don't want to say I pride myself, but I've always been the one to, I follow all the rules and I did everything right, and I did everything in the order that it was supposed to be. And I'm not saying that I was wrong for never getting in trouble in school and getting good grades and stuff. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those things. But I'm just saying, just because you eat all your fruits and vegetables doesn't mean you're going to have strong bones and teeth. Just because you go to bed on time and you never break curfew, and because you go to school and you do all your homework, it doesn't mean that life's going to be perfect for you. And I think that that's something that we all know. I'm more so just reminding myself. Have fun. I'm not saying go crazy. Don't take my words and twist them. I think that y'all get what I'm saying. It's okay for your life to fall apart sometimes. Doesn't mean that it won't get put back together, you know? So, you know, God's plan. Do the best you can and just enjoy every moment. I mean, really, truly stop and smell the roses. I mean, really do. Because, you know, the saying is here today, gone tomorrow. But really, honestly, it can be here today, gone today. And you know, when you lose people that you love, I'm going to start crying. When you lose people that you love, why am I crying? That is so weird. Oh my gosh. What I'm saying is, look, y'all, listen. When you lose people that you love, when things happen, you thought, oh my God, like I thought that this was God's plan or whatever. You realize, like, it's like, it is the little small things. You realize it's the stuff that you thought was no big deal. It's the little tiny things in life that it makes life so precious and so warm. So, you know, man, y'all just enjoy it. I know it's a lot of darkness and stuff going on in the world, but it's really a lot of light too. And just be grateful for the little things. For us to just be able to sit here on TikTok and you're watching a 31-year-old woman hold back tears on a podcast. I mean, it's a blessing. It's just a blessing that we even have time to just sit here and do nothing with each other. It's awesome. This is great. And this is just a good time for me. And I can't say it enough. I really, really appreciate y'all hanging out with me. So let's wrap it up before I ruin my makeup. Cause I gotta be cute on it. That's something else I'm working on. I have a lot of issues. Confidence is not one of them. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and do music of the week and wrap up the final episode. So, of course, music of the week, we have to pick a Christmas song. You know what I mean? What's your favorite Christmas song? I'm going to go listen to it after this. So, my Christmas song, my final artist of 2022 is Otis Redding. Otis Redding, arguably one of the greatest voices in music history, one of the greatest soul voices that we've ever been gifted. And Merry Christmas, Baby by Otis Redding is one of my favorite Christmas songs. For one, it's just a great song, but also it has great memories. Also, my phone is dying. I'm doing great. Donny Hathaway. Yes. Yes. So, Merry Christmas, Baby is a fun song because it just really takes me back to my family and good childhood memories. And there's a part of the song where he's like, Santa came down the chimney. I ain't gonna do all that. But it's that part right there. If you listen to the song, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's just a part that me and my family, we always do randomly. And it's just a good memory. So music is very near and dear to me. That's why I always do a music artist and a song at the end of every podcast because music is healing. I appreciate the DJs up in the house tonight. DJ Twice, DJ Rhett can't be here with us today, but he is with us in spirit. You know what I'm saying? Amen. So, yeah, look. Otis Redding, Merry Christmas, Baby. This was a good episode. I'm going to go ahead and go. I just want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I hope that I'll see y'all around. Listeners, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Tune in next season for all of the live recordings on Wednesdays. I think I'm going to keep doing this again. Thank you for listening. TikTok fam, thank you for watching. Y'all have a great, safe, and wonderful holiday. I love you so much. Goodbye.
Santa came down the chimney, 3:30, y'all. Left all them a good old present for my baby and for me. Merry Christmas, baby.